Hi guys, my name is Hussein and welcome to episode 12 of the Flag Goes Up podcast. February second week, time of the year to which a lot of people look forward to for different reasons, of course. However, our reason to look forward to this time of the year is Champions League and Champions League alone. Nothing gets better than watching football on European nights under the white floodlights. And this is exactly what we are here to talk about. 8 scintillating fixtures that we over the next 2 weeks out of for which on which we all of us will be talking about. And of course I've got here with me Gurjot and Shivang as usual, and together for the next an hour or so we will be talking about those 8 fixtures, which will which will be resuming the European football for us. So guys, Champions League, I mean, football doesn't get any better than this, right? 1:30 a.m. fixtures, February. I mean, relatively cold, not as chilly as December and January, but still cold, and you're getting up at 1:30 a.m. to watch football. I mean, it's a completely different experience, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we have been watching the football from last 10 years, last 12 years, and this has been such constant fixture. About the knockout game, which we have after February
Absolutely.
till the end of the summer, till the end of May, and that is which it's the showpiece event, so everybody watches. It has the highest viewership in the club football, in particular in Europe. So obviously, it is one of the biggest games over there.
Yeah, I
Absolutely. I
wish I
mean,
could say the same, man. I wish I could say the same. I
no,
want to go back
Right.
waking up 4 in the morning, man. I want to
but
go back to waking up
you
4.
don't need to wake up at 1:30. You can enjoy your sleep, have a full 8 hours of
No,
sleep,
I
avoid
don't
getting
want
any
my
dark
sleep, bro.
circles.
I don't want my sleep, bro, man. I want those Champions League nights back at the Emirates, man. It's been almost 5 years, and it kills me to see you guys so happy talking about Champions League football. And you guys have just brought me here to banter me, I guess. Let's just let's
Yeah,
just
Yeah, yeah.
start, man.
hopefully
absolutely.
Let's
hopefully ho- hopefully next season when we are recording the round of 16 preview, all of our clubs will be in that competition, so
yeah,
we'll have a lot to talk about. But yeah, so
for
without
sure.
wasting any time, enough of the banter, enough of the romantic talk. Let's talk about the agenda at hand, which is the round of 16 football, and it starts on 16th morning, which is obviously 1:30 a.m. IST, with PSG and Real Madrid, arguably the most blockbuster fixture of the round
Round
of
of
16.
16. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, what do we talk about this fixture? Obviously, lots of history. Lionel Messi with PSG now will be facing Real Madrid. Sergio Ramos with PSG will be facing Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti, Real Madrid manager, has been a former PSG manager. Di Maria, a former Real Madrid player. So a lot of history between these two clubs, and arguably, as I said, but the most blockbuster fixture of this particular tie, and it could go either way. So talking
And
about PSG now.
Shane, no need to
Yeah,
forget about Neymar and Mbappe in the mix as well. Like Neymar, a former Barcelona player facing Real Madrid
of
again,
course,
Mbappe, who is linked
and
with
Kylian
Real Madrid.
Mbappe, yeah, and
Absolutely.
Kylian Mbappe, who could be a Real Madrid player
Player, yeah, coming from
starting next season. Yeah, so I
absolutely.
think it's PSG who is playing the first leg at home, is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
at
yeah.
in the
PSG.
Paris game. Yeah,
PSG playing the first leg at
right.
home, right? So let's start with PSG then. What do we have to say about PSG? I mean, obviously they're playing in the Farmers League. They have 13 points. They are 13 points clear at the top. It hasn't been a, a cruise, as many fans would have expected, given the kind of manager that they have, given the kind of players that they have. That front three of Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe is still to click, but
Yeah,
but they are as good as any team on their day, right? So what can we expect from PSG in this fixture?
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
I
So
think,
yeah,
yeah.
Gurjot, please go
Go on,
ahead.
go
Go
on,
ahead.
go on. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just about to say that, as you rightly said, that these three players that we are talking about, Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi, they haven't clicked, and there is not a lot of cohesion right now in the squad. And yeah, as you
Yeah.
said, they are playing in the Farmers League, so winning the league is not their biggest agenda. They want to be at the top of the European pinnacle. That's why they bought Lionel Messi as well to help them. But
Mhm.
when we saw the transfer, we all felt that he could guide them to win the Champions League. But for the last 6 or 8 months, they haven't looked quite convincing enough. So I think this fixture would be of great importance. And yeah, but I still think PSG would have much firepower with them to go through, but it would be a tasty affair.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, but Lionel Messi's form has been, in question a lot, given the fact that,
Yeah.
I mean, people expected him to come to PSG in a star-studded team, and start firing on all cylinders from the get-go. But that hasn't happened. He has struggled a little. Why do you think that is?
I think it's a different league. He has played in Spain for almost all his career, and all we say that it's a for farmers league, but French league is a little physical, and we know that in Spain they like to play with the ball on the ground. So I think he
Mhm.
has to adapt to the physicality of the league, but I think he will come good, and he has scored four goals in the Champions League in the group stages for PSG, and I think he has done well in the group stage. And yeah, we'll see what he does facing his favorite enemy in Real Madrid. I think he will be pumped up coming back to Spain as well. So yeah, I think Lionel Messi could come clutch for PSG.
Yes, the
PSG.
point of concern here, it is like he has only scored one league goal throughout the season right now in the
To
French league. It has been two. Okay, two. I stand corrected. It's two League One goals. And as you talked already about the Champions League games, there's not that physicality in all the games. Like they played City twice, they beat them once in the I think at home, I think they beat them 3-0,
yeah,
and then at Etihad Stadium they had a different result altogether. But anyways, still I believe that Messi's form, it's just not like sticking up to the fact that the cohesion in the team, it's not suiting his system, it's not suiting his style of play maybe. And already demands are too much in the management of PSG. Like they bought in Pochettino, they just didn't they just didn't go on to win the league, or win these French cups, like domestic cups. They wanted the Champions League, the bigger prize. So obviously these things matter a lot. In competition, if we say Mbappe, he has been scoring. Neymar, a bit of injury crisis also going on. So
Yeah,
these
yeah.
yeah.
things do matter. With Ashraf Hakimi and Marquinhos in defense, I think they have a plus point against Real Madrid. And Hakimi, again, a former Real
Again,
Madrid
a
player,
former Real Madrid player.
yeah,
Yeah.
went to
Yeah.
Inter and then transferred to PSG again. So many, foes and friends returning.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, again, I mean, of course, Mbappe being PSG's top scorer with 20 goals in all competitions, we expect him to be the key player. And obviously, Di Maria is in great form, and Neymar is Neymar. What would your front three be in that fixture? Because you cannot play all four, including Di Maria, Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. You have to bench one. Who do you bench? If you're Pochettino, who do you bench? Do you bench Lionel Messi, or do you bench Di Maria, who obviously will work way harder, much more harder than Messi off the ball? But
Yeah.
again, Lionel Messi is Lionel Messi, kind of sort of undroppable in any team he
Yeah.
plays.
Yeah.
Who does go on the bench? Who would go on the bench?
For
Who do you
me, I
bench?
think Neymar will go on the bench. Uh,
You could,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's just my opinion. I would have Mbappe on the left, Messi playing as a center forward, and Di Maria on the right, because Messi, as you said, would be he will not be tracking back, and you need to give him a free role. And Mbappe is
Mhm,
not gonna be just playing on the left. He's gonna be an inside forward, cutting in, drifting in from the left. So I
mhm,
think I will bench Neymar, and he's also been injured. And Neymar at PSG is sort of like what Messi was at Barca. He was the main creator. He was like the spotlight was always on him. So I think these two players, Neymar and Messi, they worked well in Barcelona, but I don't think I just saw a couple of matches of PSG, and I don't think it was working. Them three of Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi up top. So I would rather have Di Maria, who can, as you said, work hard off the ball. So that's just my opinion.
all
Yeah.
right, all right. Shivang,
But
anything?
yeah,
Do you
exactly.
agree, or?
I beg to differ. It's like you always play your like the most strongest team, just strongest 11 in the game, which is most important game of the season also. So you should go for Messi on the right, Mbappe and Neymar on the left and the center. And it's just not about the cohesion, or they haven't performed as of now, but it's about the fact, the personality on the pitch, the personnel who are there, and the intimidation that the opposition feels. Like Real Madrid, they are not in a particular good form. They have been suffering.
Mhm,
Benzema, I think, won't be playing. He's injured. Most
mhm.
probably he had some injury crisis going on at Real Madrid, and there were rumors also like Real Madrid who play a rigid 4-3-3 system, usually with Casemiro, Cruz, and Modric in the midfield three. But I think there have been talks like they would be switching to 4-4-2 if Benzema is not available. So Vinicius Junior might be the one who will be partnering other players. But
Okay.
again, Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, it has to be the front three for PSG.
But Man City did school them. They
Manchester,
were playing. Manchester City just schooled them.
absolutely, but
So
they are in a
yeah,
different. They are in a different league of their own, right? Gurjot? Man City, Liverpool, there are different teams.
yeah, I get it. These are
Interesting point. Yeah, because this is a
yeah.
very interesting point. One of the reasons why Manchester City schooled them was because they controlled that midfield.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly, because those wing backs, they invert,
Inverted wing
making it a
backs, yeah.
front three of
Yeah.
those, making it a front three with that DM, and then obviously you have De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva up there with Sterling and Mahrez as the wingers. So given the fact that Real Madrid also have like one of the strongest midfield trios of modern football in Casemiro,
Arguably the
Modric, and
best.
Cruz,
Arguably the best.
arguably
midfield
the
three.
best. Yeah. So can we see something similar happening? Do we see Real Madrid taking control of the ball? Although they do not do that, they kind of play on the counter with Vinicius, Vinicius and whoever the other winger is in Rodrigo or Rodrigo or I forgot that who is that left-footed player. I mean, who used
Asensio.
to Asensio, yeah,
Marco
Asensio. Yeah, bombing down the wings. So, do we see Real Madrid trying to take advantage of their superior midfield? Obviously, they've got Verratti as well, but I don't think he'll be alone. He'll be able to be a match to Real Madrid's midfield. So, do we see similar thing happening? Do we see Real Madrid taking control of the match, or would they play on the counter like they usually do?
I think that they would play mostly on the counter. They do have a great midfield and a hard-working midfield in Casemiro and Modric. Also, being 36, he works very hard. So, but I still think that PSG will have most of the ball, and because if they don't have the ball, PSG would be useless. As I mentioned, that Man City, because they will have most of the ball and they will hurt opponents.
Yes, because Real Madrid also, defend in a mid to low block. So
Exactly.
the kind of gegenpressing, which is, so famous these days, teams try to win the ball higher up the pitch. You need to do that when you have attacking fullbacks because
Exactly.
PSG have Achraf Hakimi, so they will try to win the ball back in areas which are further up the pitch. But Real Madrid try to sit back. They defend in a low to mid block. So I think it will be a very intriguing fixture to watch.
Yeah.
And obviously, tactics will play a huge role. But sometimes it's just that when the teams are so close, I mean, so difficult to differentiate on paper, it might be a
Clutch
bad
moment,
refereeing
yeah.
decision or a moment of luck or a defensive error which could lead to the tie swinging in either way. So first leg predictions, guys. What do we see the score? What do we
Are you
need?
predicting
How do
the
we see the
whole
storyline?
match or just the leg?
Just the first leg, man. Obviously, it'll be different. It'll be a different ball game during the second leg. But how do we see the first leg going? Because based on the result of the first leg is how the managers try to set up their team for the second leg.
Yeah.
Let's say if Real Madrid don't come out with an away goal, Ancelotti would be very adamant on not giving out an away goal to PSG, but still trying to make sure that they score so that the tie is balanced on aggregate on whatever the score in the first leg was. Because of the fact that the first leg scoreline plays a huge role in determining how the managers play their team. Let's just talk about the first leg right now. What do we see the score? How do we see the scoreline looking in the first leg? Do we see a home win? I think we should see a home win.
I can see a 2-0 victory for PSG.
2-0.
Yeah.
We don't see Real Madrid scoring.
I think we have also. I think with Sergio Ramos also back, I don't see Real Madrid. I think, and I didn't know about Benzema. And Benzema if Benzema being out, I think that will be a huge hit for Real Madrid, and I can see it. Yeah, I can see it being a PSG win, and I say 2-0. Messi to score both the goals.
Oh my God.
I'm being greedy.
Messi fan favorite coming out.
Shivang, what about you?
I do see a PSG win, obviously. Maybe Real would come out like chip in one goal. 2-1 win would be most appropriate on the night. Messi not to score. Messi not to score.
Yeah, I think
maybe
I think I would have to agree with maybe.
Yeah.
And I think I would agree with Shivang as well. I think it will be a home win But as far as Real Madrid is concerned, I like to think that they might score. They would have enough in them to score at least one goal. PSG
Yeah,
hasn't been so
Vinicius also
convinced.
has been performing
Yeah,
great.
and PSG
Yeah,
haven't been so convincing in
yeah,
in
exactly.
defensively. I mean, yeah. So we could see Real Madrid getting a crucial away goal. All right, then moving on, we've got our next fixture in Sporting versus Manchester City. I mean,
If we should bother talking.
Exactly. What
that's what I
can we
was
talk?
thinking about. But what can we talk? Let's talk about Manchester City, man. Let's talk about Pep Guardiola. Let's talk about his inverted wing backs. Let's talk about the shark
Playing
team.
with no striker.
Let's talk
Exactly.
about a team who is 13 points or 14 points clear in the most difficult league in the
Competitive
world,
league, yes.
most competitive league in the world. Let's talk about Manchester City. I mean, what do we say about them? The most informed team right now, with one of the most informed players Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez,
Don't miss
Joao Cancelo.
Cancelo. Don't miss
Joao
Cancelo. Yeah.
Cancelo. What do we say about him? What
He
do we
has
say
been a
about Joao
revelation this
Cancelo?
season, right? Like he's going on to assist so
Absolutely.
many of the goals. He is playing on the left, on the right, everywhere, fetching so many points for me in the FPL as well. So how can you miss Cancelo?
Exactly, man.
Absolutely.
Right.
For me,
I
he's
mean,
the best fullback right now. He's the best
but
fullback
but
in
Absolutely.
the world right
but
now.
what is with these modern fullbacks? I mean, the kind of numbers these modern fullbacks produce was unheard of like 3-4 years ago.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
How has the game changed so much that a fullback is such an important player in your team? I mean, given the fact that I watched Chelsea play week in week out, ever since Ben Chilwell got injured, Chelsea haven't been the same. I mean, they
Yeah.
cannot attack fluidity. I mean, as fluidly as they did. The counter pressing that Thomas Tuchel likes to win the balls in higher areas of the pitch. They can't do that with Chilwell because of the fact, and obviously, Marcus Alonso doesn't isn't not the same player. So, but okay, this is a completely different conversation. We'll do a different episode on the
Yeah.
modern, on how the fullback is important in a modern game. But talking about Manchester City, do we see Sporting coming out with anything in this fixture?
I
That's very
bet not
hard.
even a goal. I bet not even a goal.
Two clean sheets over 2 legs, right?
Exactly.
But
Okay.
but
They
but
are.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
I said they are
but
defensively stout as well. Their midfield is
yeah.
brilliant. With no forwards, every
No number
every
9.
player is scoring
What
goals.
is this? What is this
Every
joke,
player
man?
is.
You
How are
need to
they?
calm
How are
down, Sushin. Still, Chelsea won the Champions League final, right? They're still
no? But
not able to go
that's a
on with that.
that's a different conversation. But how is Manchester City going to win the league without a striker?
Yeah, that's a mystery, I guess. That's Pep Guardiola's
I
brains.
mean, I wish
That
we knew
bald-headed
how to
fraud
do
knows
that.
everything. That bald-headed
Yeah,
fraud knows
I
everything.
mean, the kind of luck that Chelsea has with their strikers, I wish Chelsea knew how to win the league without a striker. I mean, if we
You
knew how
seriously,
to get results, we would be
without number
unstoppable,
nines.
man. We would be like the best team in the world if we knew how to get results without a striker. But let's talk about Sporting now. Let's be respectful to
But
Sporting as well.
Sushane, you do have an interesting number 9 right now at Chelsea.
Absolutely,
A very
absolutely.
interesting
What a
fellow.
very interesting player. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
whenever he's on the pitch, my interest just peaks. Whenever
I
he
think
touches the
he's.
ball, whenever he makes his touch, whenever he takes his first touch, which usually
Yeah, it
flies
usually is
two,
an
three
assist,
yards.
right, for players, the
Yeah,
first
it's
touch.
usually assist for an opposition player.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
but
right.
we'll come to that. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. He's in fact playing right now in the
Yeah, I
semi-final of
was
the
about
Club
to
World
say
Cup.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why is he in the starting lineup, but again, a different conversation. Let's give some respect to Sporting. Now, I've watched a couple of games and they play with a back three. Yeah, so they play with a back three with a very hard-working pressing team. Okay, they like to press the opposition to close out the passing areas because most of the teams, what they do is, and what Manchester City does as well, they like to play out from the back. So what Sporting does is also sort of a gegenpressing they a tactic. They try to win the ball higher up the pitch. They try to close down players fast so that you cannot play from the back. But I think this is what Manchester City would like. I mean, if Sporting is not
Yeah,
playing with a low block, they are coming at them. The spaces in those areas of the pitch would be like a feast to a shark team
floodgates
like
will be
Manchester
opened.
City. Sporting hasn't played with a low block. They've always gone all out in their league games. In the Portuguese league, I mean, which is not as competitive as, I don't think they would have find a team as competitive as Manchester City in that league. But do you think Sporting will play their usual way of going all out, or will they sit with a low block, or will they change their shape as well, or will they go with a back three?
Back three would be a safer bet, I believe. They need to cope up
Yeah.
with the threat of the floating number 9. We don't know who will be playing that floating number 9 position. It could be Silva, De Bruyne, Foden, Jack Grealish. There's so many players for so many positions. So we can't even start thinking about the player like the starting 11 would be there. I mean, it's fake to predict the starting 11 of the first leg against Sporting. So it has to be like the number of players who are there on the right, number of players on the left, and then the inverted fullbacks. They're covering up and catching up all the midfield space with the DM and with the two attacking midfielders as well. So it's a safer bet for like the Sporting club to make sure that they have enough number of personnel in the defense, absorb the pressure, and get an odd chance maybe to score, which is far-fetched again, which is it's not probable, but yeah, we could just predict,
which looks highly unlikely.
Right, highly unlikely.
As I said, getting a goal would be a great thing.
Getting a goal itself would be a great accomplishment for them. So yeah, absolutely. So not to forget, they have a good young manager. I think he's only 37-year-old in Ruben Amorim, and he likes to play in a back three. And given the fact that he's such a young manager, I think he will lack experience in playing against a team which is as good as Manchester City. Yeah. So first leg predictions, guys. Sporting is at home, Manchester City away. I think easy 2-3 away goals for Manchester City.
Absolutely.
Maybe 3 not, but
2-0.
3-0.
2-0, 3-0, absolutely. Without a doubt.
Oh my goodness me! So this tie is. I think this tie would be settled in the. I mean, first leg. I was thinking about but I think they will be scoring a minimum of 2 goals, Manchester City, against Sporting. But yeah, again, even if we talk about the longer picture, I think Manchester City will be the clear favorites in this match. Yeah. So all right, moving on. Next game that we have in our hands is Inter Milan versus Liverpool.
Oh my God.
Who? I mean, go ahead, guys. Inter Milan versus Liverpool.
Absolutely.
I think Inter are at home.
Yeah, it's San Siro.
What can we expect from them?
No, come on. Inter has been playing very well in Serie A this season as well. Though after
which wasn't expected.
Shocking departure of Conte, and then they also lost the number 9 Lukaku. Absolutely. He was playing very well in the system, which Antonio Conte introduced itself. They won the league after so many years.
But they've kept that system. They've kept
that system 3-5-2 formation, that rigid formation, and they are finding success in that as well. And last time they had the meeting between Inter and Liverpool, it was in 2007-8 season in the round of 16 itself, and they lost both the legs on 3-0 on aggregate, like 1-0 and 2-0 wins. So it wasn't a happy.
Inter Milan lost that.
Yeah, Inter Milan lost that against Liverpool. The same season fixture, and eventually they still have a game in hand in Serie A. They are first in the league. I think second is Napoli mostly. So they are playing well. The current form is well, and we could see some competition momentum. But who knows? There are some odd players having their good days, and Edin Dzeko, the replacement of Lukaku, scoring 12 goals in the season. Maybe he'll get a chance to score and nick one in the back of the net. We can see that going to happen. Like that's going to happen in the first leg maybe. So Gurjot, you can continue if you feel. What are the chances for Inter to actually impose some authority in the first home leg?
I've seen a lot of Inter Milan, and I think that they could provide a good fight to Liverpool. Lautaro Martinez, and as you said, Edin Dzeko has also hit the ground running since his transfer from Roma, and their midfield is also good. I like the look of Nicole Barella as well. So I think, and their new wing back Denzel Dumfries also. I think he has settled in pretty well. Yeah,
he was brilliant in the Euros. I think he was one of the most standout players in the Euros.
Yeah, he has settled in pretty well as well in Inter. So I think it will be it will not be an easy cakewalk for Liverpool. And I think that Inter Milan could get something out of this leg. I'm very sure of it, because they have been performing exceedingly well in the Serie A with imposing themselves on the team. So I think it will be a very close encounter.
What about Liverpool then? I mean, of course, being watching the Premier League week in and week out, we know how dangerous Liverpool are. Obviously, Salah would be back by then. Mane would be back. Firmino would be there. They would have
Salah is
Thiago,
back.
Henderson.
Salah is
Salah is
already back,
back.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Van Dijk, they have Van Dijk, they have Ederson. I think they have their full strength team, and Liverpool are a dangerous unit when they are playing to their strengths. I mean, Diogo Jota has been in stupendous form.
That
Minamino is chipping
midget
in with
scoring headers, man. That midget is
yeah,
scoring headers.
absolutely. Minamino is scoring goals whenever he's asked to play in the starting lineup. I think
This will be a good
I
match. I think it will be a good one to
It's
watch,
on.
man.
I
I
think
think
it's
it will
on
be a good
par with
match.
PSG Real, right? Liverpool Inter. It's gonna
yeah,
be a
Yeah,
good
of course.
game.
I know, but don't we think Liverpool would be a little, a
More
little favorites in
superior.
this one?
Yeah, more
yeah.
superior on the paper as well.
Liverpool will be favorites, but before what I said, that I have watched a lot of Inter Milan. They look really exciting with their formation
Hmm.
of 3-5-2. Lautaro Martinez, Edin Dzeko also have formed this sort of a partnership that Martinez had with Lukaku, and I
No,
think that will be, yeah.
but what with 3-5-2 is that you only have one player on the wings, right? Which is your wing back. And with, let's say, who plays left wing back for Inter Milan?
Ambrosini, I guess, or
Ambrosini. So
Ivan Perisic or Ambrosini. They switch.
They switch the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
do you think either of them can deal with Alexander Arnold and Salah?
Ambrosini is good defensively, and Ivan Perisic is more of an attacking fullback. So I think that Ambrosini would be a perfect fit so that they can switch to back five when they don't have the ball, and
Hmm.
be defensively astute to deal with their attacks. Or
Because Liverpool's wing backs play a very
yeah,
prominent role in when
exactly.
they are attacking. Robertson and Alexander Arnold, and sometimes the pivotal midfielder drops deep. So it's like a back three for Liverpool as well when they are defending.
Fabinho,
When they have the
Jordan
ball,
Henderson. Yeah.
Jordan Henderson and then Jota drops deep to play as a number 10, which allows Salah and Mane with that room to go in, and then Alexander Arnold and
On the
Robertson
overlapping
occupy
wings.
the occupy the wings
Yeah,
on a very high position. So I think it will be an interesting battle on the wings, most probably in this game, because Liverpool's main players are on the wings. Obviously, a wing back is a very important position for any team who plays in a back three. So I think whoever
exactly.
takes control of the wings will have an advantage. But I don't know why I feel that Liverpool might just edge out with this in this fixture. Of course, let's go ahead with the predictions. Inter Milan playing the first leg at home. Italian sides are known to be very defensive. Liverpool's
Exactly.
attack
Yeah.
has been outstanding this season. Do we see Liverpool getting an away goal in this fixture, or do we see
Yeah.
Inter Milan
They
keeping them
would.
shut?
Probably they would.
Yeah, I think I'll go for a draw. I think 1-1.
Score
I
draw.
think at San
Yeah.
Siro.
A
Yeah,
score
at
draw,
San
a score
Siro.
draw
Yeah,
at
1-1,
San
score
Siro.
2-2
draw.
at San Siro. Yeah.
Or let's
Two
Yeah,
just say
maybe
that it's a score.
2-2 maybe more ambitious on my part,
more.
but
Yeah,
it's a 1-1
yeah. I
draw
had 1-1.
most
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
But 2-2 would be a joy to watch.
joy to
Absolutely.
watch.
Obviously,
Yeah,
if 2-2
2-2,
would be
3-3.
such a high, I mean, even 3-3. I
Score
mean,
draws
score
are
draws are always great to
always
watch from a
enjoyable. Yeah.
neutral point of view.
exactly.
But yeah, so let's say, yeah, but a score draw would mean all to play for in the second leg. I mean,
Yeah,
knowing Liverpool, even if they want to, even if knowing that it will never happen that Jurgen Klopp will set out his team to play a goalless draw. I think if it's a score draw in the first leg, the second leg would be, I mean, a joy to watch. That
at
would be one
Anfield
of
too.
At
yeah,
Anfield,
at Anfield
absolutely.
too. I mean, amazing game of football, right? So I think Inter
Yeah,
versus Liverpool, very close to call. Uh, Probably the most even fixture other
exactly.
than PSG and Real Madrid. Yeah. Next game that we have in our hand is Salzburg versus Bayern Munich.
Again, it
Again,
has shades. It has shades of Sporting Man City, isn't it?
absolutely, it
Exactly.
absolutely does.
Bayern,
Absolutely does.
Salzburg, no competition. I mean, why?
Yeah, so Salzburg relatively unknown to us because obviously
Yeah,
uh, they don't feature. I mean, even though they managed to get qualify their groups, they do not go further into the competition. No, why? Because they get
exactly.
teams like Bayern Munich in the round of 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, so please tell us more about Salzburg. I mean, we are not so familiar with Salzburg. Please, what can we expect from Salzburg? What kind of formation do they play? Who are their players? What is Salzburg all about?
Yeah, I was pretty surprised that Salzburg even made out of the group because I was expecting Sevilla and Lille to go out of the
Yeah,
group, but Yeah, at their final home game, they just won and knocked out Sevilla of the group stage. And yeah,
Absolutely.
as they play in the Austrian league and they are top of their league with all, I think they're 10 or 11 points clear of Rapid Vienna, who is second in their group. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think they scored 8 goals, and their main player is, I guess, Karim Adeyemi, and he's their main focal point, their main striker, and also Noah Okafor. I think his goal was the one that knocked Sevilla out. And they play in a 4-4-2 formation, more like 4-3-1-2, with
Okay.
Adeyemi is plays like an inside forward. He drifts off to the left and cuts in when the team is in possession. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that he'll be the one. He's a young buck as well. He's 20-year-old, and I think he's a Nigerian, his nationality, and I
Okay.
think he was their top scorer in the group stage with 3 goals. So yeah, that's pretty much it on Salzburg, and I don't think that Salzburg would make as for Sporting as well. I don't think they will even score a goal or get a sniff of Bayern's 18-yard
Yeah,
box, I guess.
Manuel Neuer will be in the midfield, waiting on his hands backside and like, okay, we scored again, right? So that's it, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
how many goals will Robert Lewandowski get for Bayern in this
Five,
season?
6, maybe over the 2 legs. It should be
Yeah,
five,
Over
six.
the
yeah,
two
Come
legs,
on, he's a goal
a
machine.
hat trick in each game, a hat trick in each game.
That's being
yeah.
optimistic, yeah. And he still won't get
Yeah.
the Ballon d'Or. Huh.
Of course he won't. Of course he won't. It'll depend on if whether Bayern go on to win the whole thing or not. But now, since we're
Yeah,
talking about Bayern, is there anything to talk about Bayern? I mean, what do we talk about Bayern?
let's talk
Yeah,
about the
I
game
think
against
just
Barcelona.
yeah.
I mean, but they are not in a very comfortable position in the Bundesliga as they usually are. I think Dortmund are breathing down their necks.
I
How
think they're
does the
nine
league
point
table look like?
clears, 9 points clear of
They
Dortmund.
are 9 points clear. Oh my
Yeah,
Yeah.
goodness.
Dortmund
that's
just lost their last
old way.
match, I think, against Leverkusen 5-2 at home. So that and Bayern have opened the gap up to 9 points. So
Dortmund is
it's just
like Dortmund is like German Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, what do they even
Bottlers.
do? Yeah, they are like they. I remember they sometimes get very close to Bayern Munich, even surpass them in the pole
Yeah, and
position,
then
but
they
then
go
they
back
bottle
to
their
second,
leagues.
third position. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
two,
don't
three
know
seasons
why.
I've seen they've started brilliantly, have a great
Yeah,
5-6 point gap, and then it's just tanks.
then they bottle it. I mean, I don't know. It's why Bayern why Dortmund gets so much love. Although they are not, they haven't been trophyless for as long as Tottenham have, but they are the bottlers. I mean,
London
they
club,
bottle their
London clubs,
absolutely.
they like to get a sniff of the Tottenham Hotspur fans on the podcast, isn't it? Chelsea, Arsenal, ganging up on Spurs
No, but
fans.
that's the truth. That's the
Yeah,
truth. They are like
Absolutely.
German Tottenham Hotspur. Bundesliga, Bayern Munich, sorry, Dortmund get a lot of love from I mean from not only from their fans but from other fans as well. Maybe because of the fact that
they try.
Marco Reus plays for them. They try, yeah, black, yellow. Their graffitis are amazing, but I think it's
Uh,
high time that we start criticizing them for bottling the league and making and selling their players to Bayern Munich. And
but this
Yeah,
time,
although
Nicolas Sula is making the move from Bayern to Dortmund.
I mean
yeah, they
crazy
use
league,
the player, then
how
they
can
sell them back.
no no
That's fine.
but how can they
Mark,
announce a transfer like this in the middle of the
middle of the
season? I
season.
mean,
Yeah,
he
Yeah.
still has to play games for Bayern.
Max
and
Knowing
he
the fact
Hummels
that
has
starts.
he
done
will
it.
be leaving.
Max
And he
Hummels has
starts.
done it.
I don't know, man. It's a crazy league. Who, I mean, what do we even
Talking
talk?
about
So,
Bayern, I want you guys to know it. I saw their last match against Hertha Berlin, and they
mhm.
usually play with 4-2-3-1 with Kimmich and Goretzka as the pivot, but this time they went for 3-4-2-1, and Serge Gnabry and Kingsley Coman were playing as wing backs.
For the
Wing
most
backs.
attacking, for fearsome wingers in Europe.
And Leroy Sané, I think, and Leroy Sané would have been on the bench.
Leroy
The
Sané was
kind,
starting with Thomas Muller as well and Lewandowski. See, so much attacking province. They all five were starting.
Sane has been performing very well in the Champions League group stages.
Yeah,
He
he
has
scored
been
five
recording
goals.
he's
Yeah.
assists,
performing very well in
goals.
the league as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what I mean, are there any differences between Nagelsmann and Hansi Flick's Bayern Munich that we've seen, or the dominance is still there? But what is the style of play like?
I think that Nagelsmann, he likes to play with more intensity. The
Hmm.
they as I saw a very interesting stat that Bayern Munich now cover more distance. The
Hmm.
player are more
More
intensive,
intense. Yeah.
aggressive, and I also, and that was the main reason where they just thrashed Barcelona home and away, because Barcelona could not cope with the intensity of the press. Thomas Muller and Lewandowski leading the press, and they were getting sucked in by the press of Bayern Munich, and I think that is the main difference that I see, that they play with a lot of aggression and intensity under Nagelsmann.
But it's a everyday
Or
thing now, A2 previous time, this time group stages. And I was wondering, where is Barcelona? Like, we had to discuss them as well. And then just suddenly clicked. They are not in the, knockout stages. They're in the Europa
I
League.
think this is karma. I think Barcelona deserve whatever is happening to them, and
Absolutely.
I say this without any remorse, without no regrets, no repentance, no sorrow, no grief. I mean, Bayern, Barcelona deserve what they are getting. UEFA
Absolutely
Luna,
right.
one of the biggest cheats of club football. I
At
cannot
European level, yeah.
stress out the fact enough of how UEFA protected them. It's they deserve whatever is happening to them, and I
Stamford
hope
Bridge
they don't.
2009.
Yeah, of course.
It's
Brings out.
It
Yeah,
brings bad memories for me as well. 2009 final, 2011 final. Both the finals.
I mean, but
demolished.
I mean, okay, there wasn't any referee intervention. I mean, it was a fair game. Barcelona did outclass their opponents, but still, the way they got into those finals can be
finals.
questioned.
Dubious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Let's yeah.
Like
So
you,
predictions, guys.
Sushain, just a second.
Yeah,
Like the VAR
yeah,
officials and the referee in England right now, right?
yeah,
yeah.
UEFA
exactly.
Absolutely.
alone.
Don't don't just.
We can do like completely different episodes on how shit referees are in England.
Absolutely, we should do that.
We should do this. We should do
There are
this.
so
We should
many
do that, right?
matches
Yeah,
lined up. No, so many United games
absolutely.
also there. Chelsea games. Anthony Taylor is there. So many Mike Dean.
But
So many players.
United have benefited from referees. Why are you so mad about it?
VAR officials haven't been so kind, I guess. With the
Have you saw
handballs, with
Did you
the
saw the game last night?
last
Did you
night,
saw the game last
I
night?
did not.
we
I
could
did
have been
not. I
3 or
did not.
4 goals up in the first half itself. Legitimate goals, 3-4 legitimate goals.
Okay. Different topic, guys. Like different topic, different conversation. We'll come back to it. But predictions for Bayern Salzburg.
3-0.
Yeah,
How many
3-0,
goals will
4-0.
Lewandowski score?
2 or 3.
Lewandowski will score more than Salzburg's entire
Entire
starting
score
11.
line. 2,
He
3
has
goals.
already did. He has 9 goals in the group stage, and Salzburg has scored 8.
Again, nothing to talk about
A
now.
good start.
This stat is enough to tell you how this game is going
Fixture's
to
gonna go, yeah.
Exactly.
go. Yeah, right. So yeah, so done with the fixtures for 15th and 16th of February. Now moving forward to the fixtures of 22nd and 23rd February, and we start with Villarreal and Juventus.
The Yellow
Again, I think it will
Submarine.
be a close game. Villarreal are an informed team. Juventus been there sometimes, have had their good patches, but
performances.
been
Yeah.
inconsistent as well. So talking about Villarreal, I mean, both of you guys would be very familiar with Villarreal. They beat Arsenal in the semi-finals, beat Manchester United in the finals to win the Europa League, and that's why they are in the Champions League. So all yours, guys. How do we see Villarreal doing?
We did beat them in this year's group stages, both home and away.
Yes.
Cristiano
Doesn't
Ronaldo
count.
was the
scoring in
name.
both the fixtures.
Doesn't count.
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't bring you any silverware though, does it?
Exactly. So
Okay.
yeah, I think Villarreal, I think they've also had the same that Salzburg had. They've won 3, drawn 1, and lost twice, I guess, in the group stages, and
Mhm.
they've scored 12 and conceded 9.
9 goals. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the league, in La Liga as well, they are where they are supposed to be, hovering around the Europa League spot. They are, I think, 6th in the La Liga.
Yeah, I think they've got 35 points. Yeah,
Yeah,
6th with 35 points.
and I don't think they can get into the Champions League via the league, because teams, Barcelona is also catching up. Real Betis and Atletico Madrid are there, and I don't think they're cut out to compete for that. And yeah, they did defeat Atlanta away too as well. I think that was pretty impressive in their Champions League. journey. And I think the players I think that to look out for are Gerard Moreno, who was in fact the top scorer last year as well,
Yeah,
scoring
I
30
remember
goals,
absolutely.
or he scored
30
30
goals.
goals, yeah, in the all competitions. And this season also he's also been injured quite a lot this season, so he
Yeah,
has scored just I think 9 goals.
but
And
it's
there,
still decent number of goals for a
yeah, yeah,
striker who has been injured.
yeah, he's been injured quite a lot this season. And interestingly, the signing that they made in the summer from Bournemouth, Danjuma, he has been quite lively, and he is
Yeah,
their top scorer in the Champions League with 4 goals, and I think he has provided 2 assists as well. So I think
wow.
he would be the one player to look out for. And Chukwueze as well. He's also a right winger. He also quite rapid. And yeah, I think Villarreal, if it was Juventus 2 or 3 years back, and that I would have said that Juventus it would be a cakewalk. But I think that
Absolutely.
Juventus also kind of struggling. They just
Hmm.
did come back into the fourth position, I think, a couple of weeks back with their
Yeah.
shiny new signing, the Serbian Lukaku and Denis Zakaria. They just signed.
A bitter Arsenal fan
But he scored,
speaking.
right? He
It's a
scored,
bitter
right?
Yeah,
He
Arsenal fan
scored, right?
speaking, man.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
he
think
scored.
he was heavily linked to Arsenal, I think.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wanted Arsenal. He wanted him at Arsenal so bad. He was continuously tweeting also.
But
He
did
should go on his
Arsenal ever
timeline, no?
bid for him, or was it
Yeah,
just
he did.
media talk?
But he
Arsenal did
rejected
bid
Arsenal.
for the. He just refused. He just wanted to go to Juventus. Arsenal was just a smoke screen because he didn't even pick up calls. His agent, they just wanted the move to Juventus. So good luck to them, whatever that Serbian Lukaku does. So I'm
But he
not.
scored on his debut, right? He scored on his debut along with
Lac-
Zakaria. They both of them scored on
Lacazette,
their debut.
Lacazette scored in the first 2 minutes, and it didn't turn out to be the signing that I hoped for.
Oh
So
my god! Oh my god!
But he's still there at the club. Aubameyang is not there. Lacazette is still there.
yeah, so I don't think that scoring on debut is kind of a big thing. But
But
apart
he's
from
highly
all the
rated.
jokes,
Highly
Even
rated player.
yeah,
Lukaku scored on his Chelsea return, and look how that is turned out.
yeah. So I
Very
still think that
interesting.
Vlahovic would turn out to
Very
be a good
interesting.
striker. Yeah, Vlahovic I think will turn out to be a good striker, and the sort of business that Juventus have done in the winter. Denis Zakaria is also a very good quality midfielder. So I
Yeah.
think that they will have enough in them to get through this leg. And the resurrection of Dybala is also has been great
Yeah.
because of Massimiliano Allegri.
Getting
He
out
is
of
their
the
Mhm.
top goal
shadows
scorer.
of Cristiano, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's what happens when
Yeah,
Cristiano
yeah.
leaves.
I
I
think
mean, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Dybala is a key to Juventus and how they play in 4-4-4-3-1-2. They play with a diamond, and Morata and Vlahovic in the last match started with Dybala behind them. And
Mhm.
funny enough, I think Federico Chiesa would be a big miss because
He has been a very good
had a
player.
fantastic
Very
Euro.
industrious. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
whenever the ball is at his feet, when I saw him at the Euros, I was excited because, yeah, as you said, he's an industrialist player, and I think that it will be a great miss for them. But I still think they have enough in them to get out of this tie. I think so.
Shivang, I think you would feel the same. You would agree with Gurjot that
Absolutely.
Juventus would,
Go on,
get
yeah.
out of this tie.
Absolutely.
No,
No doubt
it might
about it.
not be as easy as it would have been a couple of years
Previous,
ago, but I think
Exactly.
they would have enough to
enough
go
firepower,
ahead.
yeah.
Enough firepower. Yeah.
Right.
All right. Moving on, we got
We
the
can have the
defending
predictions.
champions.
We can have the
Yeah,
predictions,
please,
okay, for
please
this.
go ahead with the
Yeah.
predictions. Yeah.
So
I
Gurjot, can
think
you?
Got a
Juventus
little
is
excited.
playing at home, or I think
No,
Villarreal is playing at
Villarreal
home.
is playing
It's
at home. I got a
Villarreal, yeah.
little excited because Chelsea were up next, but yeah, what about the predictions?
Yeah, we
Let's
can
go
see
with
the
the
jersey
predictions.
now, clearly.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
I
That's the
think
whole point of wearing a jersey for fixtures like this. It's a Champions
exactly.
League jersey again. So
Mine's not there.
next
He's
year,
still
next
finding
year,
the logo. Where
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed next year.
Yeah,
you have
so
to
I think
fight with so
I
many
think
teams.
exactly.
Yeah,
Top
Yeah,
four now
this
feels
included.
like a trophy.
This included.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Anyways,
a rubbish fight to the top four. So
seriously.
as I was saying, I think it'll be a 2-1 victory for Juventus with that Serbian Lukaku scoring both the goals.
Yeah,
Shivang, what
it
do you
should
think?
it should be a win, but Villarreal has been proven to be a very defensively disciplined side also. So, but I still
Unai
feel,
Emery does that with his
yeah,
teams. Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
been frustrated watching matches with United. So, But still, I think Dybala and this Vlahovic have enough firepower on their day, and they can go on to win the game. 2-1, 3-1, it could be anything.
The 3-1 would be a little far-fetched, but I think
Far-fetched and more ambitious, no?
yeah, it could be. I think 2-1 for Juventus in the first leg, maybe a home draw or a home win against Juventus. I think Juventus might just edge out both the games narrowly, but they'll go through. Yep,
Go through,
all right. Yeah, so moving on to the defending champions now, champions of Europe. Chelsea are at home to Lille in the first leg. Only two teams who got the same draw when the round of 16 draw was played out, and I think Lille obviously defending, champions of France last season, 11th in the league currently. Yeah, 32 points from 23 games. They have players like a 38-year-old Jose Font and a 36-year-old Burak Yilmaz who have played the most minutes. If the top 5 players who have played most minutes in Lille, Burak Yilmaz and Jose Font are 2 of them, and they are 38 and 36.
What about Jonathan David?
Jonathan David is a good player. He's a good young player, but he usually plays with Burak Yilmaz in that front too. But let's talk about the home team. Let's talk about Chelsea first. They have. I mean, if you leave out that the month of December, I think they had a very good season. They still have They are going. I mean, having a pretty decent season in the finals of the League Cup. Third in the league. I think they should get to Champions League. Their form has been a little rocky, although they haven't lost many games. The only recent losses have been. Yeah, they haven't won too many games either. That's the whole idea. They've drawn too many games. The only recent defeats were that 3-2 loss to West Ham and that 1-0 loss to Manchester City, in which Kevin De Bruyne scored. Other than that, I think they have only lost 2 games at home this season against Manchester City. Against Manchester City, yeah, I think only one game. They've lost only one game against Manchester City at home all season. And I think they should be able to win this match against Lille. Yeah, I mean, obviously we've had a couple of injuries. Chilwell has been out, but again, Thomas Tuchel, knowing the tactician that he is, he can play with the back 3, he can play with the back 4, 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 with Malang Sarr playing as left back. Hakim Ziyech has been brilliantly so far. I mean, in the last couple of games, and given the fact that they have those players who like to press in. Obviously, Lukaku doesn't work as hard as Timo Werner or Kai Havertz, but Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, they press so much. I don't think Lille's players will be able to deal with Chelsea's gegenpressing, and I think should be an easy win for Chelsea.
I think it will be a regulatory win. I think it will be a regulation win. For
Chelsea are playing the first leg at home. I expect them to keep a clean sheet. I think Reece James might be fit. Even if he is not, I think they would still have enough defensively to keep Lille's attack at bay. Yeah. So
yeah, for sure.
And I believe Mendy is also back, right, from AFCON.
Mendy is back. Mendy has joined the squad in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, today. I mean, he's not in the squad to play the semi-final, but he's back. Salah is back. Mane is back. Every player who left for Africa Cup of Nations is back. Yeah, Lille. If we talk about Lille, as I told you, Jose Font and Burak Yilmaz are one of the 2 players. Renato Sanchez also.
Yeah, Renato Sanchez also there.
Yeah,
he used to be highly rated. 3-4 years back, he used to be he's like a revelation.
He still is a good.
But then he went to Swansea from Bayern Munich.
He was a good player in. Yeah, he went to Swansea on loan, didn't click for him. Now he's playing well at Lille. He had a decent Euros as well, although he did not start regularly, obviously. But he had a decent Euros. But I don't think the kind of form Lille are in, I think it should be a regulatory Chelsea win, home and comfortably.
Yeah, a 2-0 win as predicted. I think a 2-0 win should be satisfying.
A 2-0 win in both the legs. I think that should do it. Yeah. In the second leg, I think Reece James will be back as well. And since Kennedy has been recalled from loan, so I think Tuchel wants to use Kennedy as left wing back. So if Reece James is back, I think Tuchel can go with that back 3 and not the back 4 that they've been playing usually. But either the formation, doesn't matter the formation that he plays. I think Chelsea should have enough to win this game 2-0. Touch wood. I hope I'm not jinxing. by being so confident, but I think Chelsea should win. Then we have Atletico Madrid and Manchester United. Let Shivang take the floor for this one.
Yeah.
It's the first meeting
Yeah,
between the two clubs, no?
we'll bring up we'll share our views later, but
Because the rant is coming.
let's go ahead with Shivang. Because the rant is coming, because Cristiano Ronaldo's favorite opponents, I am sure you
Yeah.
will try to
The
undermine
only
that
silver lining,
United
I
are
think,
not
in this
playing
fixture.
good. Yeah, you will try to downplay Manchester United, that they are not good and blah blah
I
blah.
won't try. The results are there to be seen, okay?
Ralph Ragnick
I
is
won't
not
try.
doing good. Harry Maguire is he's a
The
fridge,
fridge, yeah, the fridge.
etc. Luke Shaw should
80
not
million
play. You will say all those things, but if you have
Chamber of
Manchester-
defensive errors. Harry
Yeah.
Maguire, chamber of defensive errors.
I
Harry
think
Potter.
he made that error to Burnley's goal last night, right?
He made
He
everything
was the one-
miserable. The foul, I don't know what I mean. How can it be given an offside? I mean the foul, not
Okay,
offside. The foul.
okay.
I could understand that.
Don't get carried away. Don't get carried away.
Yeah, we
I
should
know
talk about
it's
the league.
Manchester
Actually.
United. We will talk about it, but talk us about the fixture first.
Yeah, so it's
Atletico Madrid versus Manchester United.
right. So it's the first time they are meeting. These both clubs, they are meeting in the UEFA Champions League, and Cristiano Ronaldo literally dragged the whole team through the group stages. If it wasn't for his goals, they would have finished bottom of the group. He literally scored in every game he played. He scored 6 goals. He scored 6 goals in 5 games, and then he had
managed to get 10 points out of it, man.
Absolutely, man. And they somehow, managed to get the first position in the group as well, and then they get Atletico Madrid. That's fine. But again, United has been.
But at least, I mean, would you have preferred PSG or Atletico Madrid?
First draw, right? I remember. It's fine. I would have preferred Lille or Sporting, I think. Not Atletico Madrid.
Yeah,
but that's okay. That's how it is.
No offense.
No offense to the other teams. Yeah, seriously.
No offense to either two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, carry on.
Exactly. So, under Ralph Ragnick, after being appointed the interim manager, they still haven't been, giving that out performances.
We don't see that gegenpressing.
They don't know how to press.
I saw a couple of United matches. Whenever they lost the ball, they did not press to win it back. They went back to their defensive positions.
Absolutely.
I mean,
they don't know how to press. The players, they don't understand gegenpressing, counter pressing. They don't understand that. They switched from 4-2-2 to now a new system of 4-3-3 with 2 floating number 8s, a single DM in the form of maybe Fred or McTominay in the league, in the Champions League. It's going to be exposing in the big games like against City, Chelsea, Liverpool. But again, that's the manager's call, right? We have expectations.
Fred and McTominay don't play together these days. Fred has been scoring goals as well. I think
it was in the absence. Yeah. No, not so many goals. Like he has scored 2 goals in the league.
Fred, I don't think.
He scored the first goal in Ralph Ragnick's era against Crystal Palace.
I think he's the top. Who is the top scorer under Ralph Ragnick for Manchester United?
It has to be
Fred. Nobody has scored more than 2 goals, right? Fred, I think, is the joint top scorer.
No, Fred hasn't scored 2 goals. He has scored 2 goals only throughout the season. First was in the first game against Leeds under Solskjaer.
Okay.
I didn't.
Anyways, but that's they're not so attractive attacking wise. They have been, the leaks in the defense have been fixed for the time being. But then Harry Maguire is playing, and leaks, they don't go, hand in hand. Anyways, so. apart from the unrest in the club, I don't know, like Atletico Madrid is on a worse form, or is it United? I mean, I can't pick the worst club in between the both twos.
Yeah, Atletico Madrid has been abysmal this season.
Absolutely. They just lost to Barcelona, a degraded Barcelona, who were 1 man down
they
also.
4 goals against Barcelona.
Barcelona, absolutely.
Which team does that? So I think United should be the favorites to win this one.
I told you, only silver lining is if Ronaldo goes on to score, he goes on to score.
Ronaldo comes clutch.
Of course he will score. It's Atletico Madrid. He wipes the floor with Atletico Madrid whenever he plays against them.
I remember the Juventus
Diego Simeone went on to say that if it wasn't for Cristiano Ronaldo, I would have 2 Champions League trophies.
Absolutely. 14, 16, easily. And
but again the question is Ronaldo's form hasn't been great. He hasn't scored for the last 5 games, which is his longest run without a goal since 2010.
10 in Real, yeah.
Last time he went on without 5 games, scoring 5 games was 12 years ago in 2010.
Again,
So if Ronaldo's form is not with him, and obviously I don't think Manchester United creates enough for Cristiano Ronaldo, or because I mean we discussed this, that is Ronaldo the problem, or
yeah,
the fact that his teammates cannot find
find
his
him
runs, his
exactly in the
movement,
spaces. Yeah,
is that the problem? Whatever it is, it's a problem for Manchester United, if not for Ronaldo or his
Exactly.
teammates. So
absolutely. It's a
even
problem
if
for the whole
even with
team.
even given the fact that if you have Cristiano Ronaldo in your team on a European night under the white floodlights, you should be the favorites, especially if the opponents are a team like Atletico Madrid. But given his form, what can we say?
I don't know. I mean, Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano are the only two players who can, make things happen for the club right now. I mean, even
Hmm.
Bruno hasn't been
Yeah, it's
scoring, he
down
has
to
been creating.
individual. It's yeah,
Yeah,
Manchester
individual
United.
brilliances,
In my
absolutely.
yeah, they don't feel like a
A
team. It's
team,
just
no
individual
cohesion.
players.
Yeah,
Yeah, they have these good individual players, good star players that sometimes they drag them out of the mud.
absolutely. Solskjaer
There are
has
times
been
when
in the
Bruno
job for,
Fernandes comes clutch.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
sometimes
Solskjaer,
Bruno
But
Fernandes comes clutch.
exactly. Now, the point that you made, that United have good players, but they don't feel like a team, many people would argue is because of Cristiano Ronaldo. Had Cristiano Ronaldo not been signed, they would feel like a team, because it was all Solskjaer's. Because Sancho was signed, and let's say, I mean,
let's skip that part. I think it's
let's
not even
yeah, let's keep Mason Greenwood's part. It's
out
not
of it.
right
Yeah.
to waste our time on something like that. But let's say if it was Rashford, Martial, and Sancho, had Ronaldo not been signed, even Cavani, I
Hmm.
think that cohesiveness as a team would have been there. But obviously, if you've signed Cristiano Ronaldo and your front players have changed, if you've signed two attacking players, if two attacking players come right into your attacking five players, obviously it'll take time to gel. But I think half the season is gone. They should have been able to gel. But still, if you're saying that United don't feel like a team, is it because of the bad coaching, or is it because of the bad attitude of the players?
So it's
Shivang would
about
say bad
it's
attitude. I don't
no, no,
know.
no. I would say it's bad everything. But again, Ralph Ragnick is not responsible how they play on the field while they are being coached and while the external factors are also there. The position being so murky, the officials being dubious.
But do you
Not
are you
blaming
still
the VAR officials
backing?
every day, but still
No,
the
no?
performances
Are
are
you still?
so bad.
But
Like, yeah,
it has Ralph Ragnick turned out to be exactly what you expected?
Ralph Ragnick set out with the precedent of counter pressing. The players aren't
Yeah.
doing that. They don't have the gall, the heart to run all in throughout the game.
Yeah,
You know, the like with the likes of Salah, Jota, Mane, Liverpool attacking defending from the front itself,
Counter
closing
pressing.
the
Same
gaps. Yeah,
goes for
counter
Manchester
pressing. Man
City. Same goes
City,
for Manchester City.
every
Mahrez, Foden, Bernardo
exactly
Silva.
every big team in the top leagues, they do the same. Chelsea, you see so many players, so many philosophies
Bayern
on
Munich,
display.
counter press.
Absolutely, Bayern Munich. So these things, they don't go hand in hand with the
But
club
but
right
if he's
now.
a good coach, he should find alternatives to counter pressing. I mean,
exactly.
if all he knows is just counter pressing, which means he's a one-dimensional coach, and as I said in the last episode, a German Tony Pulis. But if he's a good coach, then he should find an alternative. If the players are not willing to run, then he should find an alternative. Maybe play with a mid to low block and then play on the counter.
But then that's the same thing which they did in the Solskjaer also. Like, they were depending on the
Yeah.
counter attacks only. Rashford space, Bruno
Yeah.
Fernandes
because
precision
because
pass,
maybe because
Paul
maybe
Pogba
because
there. Yeah.
maybe Solskjaer knew that these players won't press, they don't work hard off the ball, so he was forced to play that way.
But then it could not be happening in all the games, right? Like, if you play two games against Man City in a season, he beat them twice in that season just before COVID.
Yeah, with that low block,
Same, yeah, exactly. He played, I think, 3-5-2 in both the games, and he got the result out of the games.
Yeah,
Against
yeah.
Liverpool also, he drew some games. He lost comprehensively also, but he managed to get results, 1 point or the other things. In fact, against Chelsea also, he managed
But
to get some
let's
results.
see. Ragnick is yet to play these these big games, these big rivals.
Yeah,
I think United will be traveling to Etihad and Anfield, right?
in
They played
succession.
both their
Yeah,
games against Manchester City at home.
that would be the test.
That would be the test.
Absolutely.
That would be the time to bring out the gegenpressing. But all right, I think
that's
because of the,
yeah, that's enough
I
for
mean,
Man United right now, I think.
yeah. Let's move ahead.
Let's go ahead to
Who do we
Atletico
see?
Madrid.
Who do we see? who do we see? Let's go with Atletico Madrid. I mean, even they haven't been convincing. They signed
Yeah.
Joao Felix for 115 million pounds, and I mean, I think he's
Such a
wasting his
talent,
career
wasting
there.
his talent. Yeah.
Yeah. Luis Suarez also has hit a halt this season. He also scored 25 goals last season, but this season also there are reports that him and Simeone also aren't getting along.
I think the age is catching up with him, or
Yeah. I'm sure that age might be one factor, but this season
Then
I
again,
don't think Atletico has been convincing. They
they
are
got
they are fifth in the league as well now
they
with
got Griezmann
Barcelona
back as well.
leapfrogging. Yeah.
They got Griezmann back as well, and then they haven't been so convincing. Their performances haven't been that good like we used to see before. And I remember the 14 and 16 finalists, not to forget. In the recent history when they
Because they
won the
worked
league
so
as well.
hard. They worked so hard.
Yeah, on the ball they
They
work
were
so hard.
so
Off
good
the ball also.
defensively.
Absolutely.
Off the ball they worked so hard.
Work
They were
so
so
hard.
good
Absolutely.
defensively.
That's the discipline inculcated from the manager, right? Diego Simeone is a very good manager. His philosophy is pretty clear that if you're not on the ball, you're not in position, you will go defensively around, and then you can get the ball, turn into low block, then go on from transitions.
Because the kind of counters they defend, when they are attacking on a corner, the way he sets up that there is no chance for a counter attack. So he plays with 4-4-2, a very the basic 4-4-2, but his players work very hard. Could this be this fact that Atletico players will be more hardworking than United players? Could this prove out to be the fact that this time might swing in Atletico Madrid's favor?
It could be absolutely. I mean,
it feels like a neck to neck thing. I think
again on the fact that they both are average right now.
Exactly, because they both are average.
But if Ronaldo is in the mood, then I don't see Atletico doing.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that United have these special players that can come clutch. It's just moments. United, to me, feel like a team of moments. They have just few moments in the game.
Very rightly. I think Gurjot has summed up Manchester United in one sentence brilliantly, and I think brilliantly. I mean, this is Manchester United in one line this season. A team of moments. If
they have been like this throughout, I mean, 2-3 seasons also, not this season.
This season, I think Solskjaer, they performed consistent.
But this season, I think this is exactly how anyone would define Manchester United, a team of moments. All right, guys, predictions. I mean, first leg is at the Atletico Madrid's home. Ronaldo, if Ronaldo starts. Should Ronaldo start?
Ronaldo should start.
He will start.
Okay. That's why he was rested against Burnley.
But their match is next week.
There's again a match on Saturday, Southampton. But still, they have so many games in 22 days. They had to get 4 or 5 games, I think, in 22 days only, in the span of 3 weeks. So then again, he's 37, recently turned 37. Then you need to take care, right? Even if it's Cristiano.
I feel like it'll going to be a goalless draw. I don't know, but it feels like a goalless draw. A 0-0 draw.
Shivang would be very discouraged to stay up till 3:30 and not getting to see even a single goal.
I've been staying up till 5 o'clock and seeing United surrender leads from 2-0, 1-0, even going on, out of the FA Cup on penalties. So it's not a big thing.
I saw that Aston Villa game, man.
2-0.
I was very happy. That Aston Villa match.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Cristiano, what do you think?
Cristiano starting and scoring would be fine, but still, I don't know. I'm not sure really. It could be a draw. A 0-0 draw is on the cards.
You are always downplaying Manchester United like that, even on Twitter.
Reverse psychology.
Even on what?
Yeah, but it's not helping. It's anyways not helping.
If anyone who doesn't know, Shivang Raina is a master of dark jinxing. He has practiced I don't know how, but he has
dark arts.
Yeah, he's a master of dark arts, and he jinx. I mean, I cannot even put into words. His jinxing is on another level. So sometimes he tries to reverse jinx fixtures as well. So he's trying to reverse jinx the fixture here so that the result goes in Manchester United's way, and it might turn out to be true. We'll wait for the match and then we'll come back to this episode. I mean,
What will they
nobody
achieve
knows.
after
They
winning?
could go on to win the whole thing. Who
They're
knows?
not Chelsea.
Exactly.
They're not Chelsea Football Club, sadly.
It's a
See, the
cup,
reverse
Tom.
jinxing
It's
has
a cup.
already begun.
It's a cup thing. You don't have to be
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah,
You just have to get
they
through,
get
man.
eliminated from the
Exactly.
cup things, pretty early.
Exactly. But Cristiano Ronaldo is Mr. UEFA Champions League, and if you have
Exactly.
Cristiano
The
Ronaldo in your
poster boy.
team, yeah, anything can happen. Predictions, guys. I think we've discussed this long enough. We have one more fixture to go.
What do you think of
So
the fixture? Your predictions are
Yeah.
remaining.
for Atletico Madrid versus Manchester United,
Yeah.
United victory. You've got Cristiano Ronaldo. Atletico Madrid are not in good form. United will not easily, but they will edge out Atletico Madrid. I am going with the United victory. I think United will win the away leg as well, and then home leg might turn out to be a boring draw, but United will get through the fixture. What about you guys?
All right.
And I'm saying this
0-0.
solely on the fact that they have Cristiano Ronaldo in their team.
Absolutely.
I said 0-0. First leg.
Right.
First leg 0-0.
0-0.
What about you, Shiva?
Cristiano to score if he starts. Maybe.
All right. So two of us are saying that United will score an away goal. Gurjot says that it will be a goalless draw. Let's see. All right. Moving on to the last fixture, which is Benfica versus Ajax. I think let's just because of the fact that Shivang rates Erik ten Hag very highly, who is the Ajax manager. I think we should let Shivang continue with. He wants Erik ten Hag very badly at Manchester United next season.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
So let's have Shivang continue with Benfica versus Ajax as well.
So
Benfica are at home.
Benfica are at home the first leg, and Ajax are traveling. They have an exceptional record of 6 wins in 6 games throughout the group stage. They just conceded 5 goals in the Champions League this season, and just 5 goals in the domestic league as well throughout the season. Their first.
We don't get domestic league.
It's
the Farmers League.
Irrelevant.
It's like the Farmers League of farmers. I mean, it's like a plumbers league. I don't know what.
Okay, you just don't degrade.
Disrespectful.
Yeah.
Not to be disrespectful to any. Yeah. No offense to any profession, but I mean, it's for the banter. So
right. Yeah. Anyway, so they set out the team, 4-2-3-1, the traditional 4-2-3-1. But the games Ajax plays, they have more control in the games. Control, which we have heard from Ralf Rangnick so much. So Erik ten Hag, he's a very disciplined manager. I have seen his performances at Ajax. He worked very well in scouting the young talent, nurturing them, then incorporating them into the teams. Like Donny van der Beek was there. Matches delete from Ajax. Right now, Sebastian Haller, who is a top scorer in Champions League, 10 goals in the group stages. He's been exceptional form. Yeah, he has been exceptional form for Ajax this season, and not to forget Dusan Tadic also. He's also playing very well this season.
Sebastian Haller and Dusan Tadic are Premier League rejects, and they are balling.
Yeah, they're bossing there.
West Ham reject. That too.
One is a West Ham reject, the other is a Southampton reject, and I don't know if it's Erik ten Hag's coaching or because of the fact that it's a plumbers league. I don't know.
We'll find out soon if Erik ten Hag makes his way to Old Trafford.
Right. Yeah, still a big question mark over it, but let's see.
But I still don't want Pochettino, no? Anyways.
Yeah.
So
that's a different conversation. We'll do a different episode. You can do a different episode on that, and then talk about all your frustrations on that.
The whole rants over there.
Yeah.
So Benfica, they also are playing in a 3-4-2-1, like the defensive team set out, the 3-4-2-1 with 2 number 10s, with 1 striker, 1 number 9 over there. But there is so much flexibility in the system, and not only in the system, but personnel wise as well. If there are players, moving from position to position. But one standout performance which I have seen throughout this season for Benfica, it has been Nicolas Otamendi, the former Man City player. He has been rock solid for Benfica this season, and Nunes, the number 9 for Benfica, he has been an exceptional form. Nunes. Nunes. And just not to forget Joe Mario, who used to be a very good player for Monaco. He's still there now he's there in Benfica, and he's been, they're bossing it around. But anyways, they're still 3rd in the league. So Sporting, like Porto and Sporting respectively, are 1st and 2nd in the league. But which, we already discussed this point that these are the leagues which are not that competitive against the Premier League and the Serie A and the La Ligas. But I still believe that firm pinchless, they have this physicality in their game. The Portuguese players, the Portuguese leagues, so many South American players playing in these leagues, Colombian players. And, recently we had Luis Diaz move to Liverpool, right, from Porto.
Yeah.
He has been also a very good player for Colombia and for Porto as well. A very good catch for Jurgen Klopp.
Absolutely.
So I still believe Benfica also have a very good system working out for their teams, and they could be a very good competition between Ajax and Benfica. Though I still feel that Ajax will edge it out. I mean, they have the superior hand both on paper and both performance-wise. They have the track record with them, and a very good club. They have history on their side as well, Ajax Amsterdam. And even though we feel that they are not like superior, like in the league, they are not playing as much as well as the other teams, but still, who knows? Maybe a good performance from Benfica also and from Ajax also. It could edge out in like either way. It could edge out either way of the game on their night. So in the first leg at Benfica, who knows? I mean, what do you think, Richard? What are your point of views for that?
Yeah, I do think that Ajax will edge it out because of how hot Sebastian Haller has been, and I think they would have sufficient firepower to win. I think both the legs against Benfica.
Right.
So Benfica plays with a back three and Ajax play with a 4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1, yeah.
Do you think playing with a back three would give Benfica any added advantage, or because of the fact that Ajax have been in such a great form both domestically and in Europe, would prove out to be too much for Benfica?
I think Benfica would like to play on its strength, right? They have this system working and it's very much successful for them, though they're not where they would want to be and like position wise, but still they have the system working on and edging for the point that Ajax have been successful in their own rigid system 4-2-3-1. It could give a very good advantage to the the away team in the first leg as well.
All right, so I think all of us can agree that it will be an Ajax win.
Absolutely, 2-1, 2-0 win would be a fine win.
Ajax to win both legs. Ajax to get a win on both legs.
Yeah, proceeded to round of the last 8.
Yeah, all right. So I think we've covered every fixture, and
I just want to say something.
Yeah, go
Please.
ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that please don't have me on these Champions League episodes. I feel so left out. I feel so left out and bored. I think Bhanu can easily do a job. So it's my humble request, don't get me on these episodes, man.
You should ask Arteta
you guys talking
to
about your clubs.
Get Arsenal into Champions League.
If all our teams go through the round of 16, we'll get Bhanu for the quarterfinal episode.
Yeah, I don't want to be part of this plan.
hopefully next season if Arsenal does well. But yeah, I mean, the Premier League's, I think the race to the top 4 is going to be more, but yeah, different conversation. Tottenham, Antonio Conte, United, Arsenal, all are there. But yeah, different conversation. So yeah, guys, I think we've come to an end of this particular episode. I think it might just be the longest episode that we've recorded. It's just that, when you're having fun talk, it's because of the fact that when you're talking about something that you like with the people that share the same vibes with you, I mean, you lose track of time. I think that's exactly what we did when we started this episode. We came out with the fact that we will give an X amount of time to every fixture, and so that this episode doesn't exceed more than 60 to 70 minutes. But I think it's easily an 80 to 90 minutes episode. And without saying much, having said that, I think we should conclude this episode here. Guys, anything to add?
That would be, I think.
Looking forward.
Yeah,
smash
that like button, smash that subscribe button on the
please
channel.
We are on Spotify, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Amazon Music, we are on Google Podcasts, we are on YouTube, we are on the 5 most popular podcast platforms, audio platforms that there are. So please give it a follow.
Smash a like.
Give us your feedback. What would you like us to do better? Let us know what we are doing better. What is it that you like? What is it that you want us to do? That would make this podcast even more engaging for you. So please give us all your feedback. All our social medias, all our email IDs, everything is in the description below. Yeah, guys. So I think that's pretty much it. Hope you liked our episode. I think hope we've predicted out every fixture correctly. We'll figure it out in the next month or so. But yeah, till then, that's pretty much it. Yeah, guys. So please stay safe, stay safe, yeah, stay at home, and look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Yeah. All right, guys. Bye bye.